Welcome to another episode of HowCookingWorks.com. Today we're going to make tempeh. Tempeh is a vegetarian meat substitute which tastes like a nutty version of meat. You may have seen it at your local vegetarian restaurant or your local vegetarian market. If you're thinking of going vegetarian, it is a great way to transition towards it. Making tempeh is a laborious process, but the results are very delicious. Even if you don't make tempeh, it's sometimes nice to know how your food is made. Tempeh is thought to have originated in Indonesia. Basically, it's made by fermenting soybeans with the starter. It is similar to how tofu is made, but it retains the entire soybean. So the first thing is you need an incubator. Here I have my own homemade incubator here. So basically an incubator keeps the temperature of the tempeh at about 85 to 93 degrees. The thing is, already in Indonesia and Asian countries, it's already 85 to 93 degrees, so they don't really have to worry about this. You can visit HowCookingWorks.com to make your own custom incubator. The next thing you need is soybeans. So these soybeans you can get at your local Asian or American market. Plastic bags, 2 Ziploc bags, 8-inch. The tempeh culture starter. So basically you can order this online, but be aware that this sometimes takes a long time to get delivered, sometimes about 2 weeks, so order this in advance. Basically this is the culture which helps the tempeh grow. Next thing we have is some vinegar. Nothing special there. So far the ingredients are pretty simple, but the key to tempeh is in your technique. So for the directions, what we're going to do is we're going to soak the soybeans overnight, and the next day what we're going to do is we're going to hull it, basically remove the shell. We're going to cook the soybeans in water before al dente, then we're going to dry it out. We're going to add some of the starter culture and vinegar, then we're going to put it in these Ziploc bags. Afterwards, you're going to put these bags in the incubator for about 30 to 36 hours. So for some variable factors to keep in mind, you may have to play with your vinegar to culture ratio. Some starters may make it so you don't need as much vinegar, but just play around as you make and you'll perfect your recipe. The next thing is you need to watch the tempeh at around the 30-hour mark. So at the 30-hour mark, it should be around done. But depending on the temperature and how it's growing, it may need to stay a little longer. So just be sure to watch those factors when you're making tempeh. So with that being said, let's do some soaking. Here we have the soybeans. These soybeans were about $2 for a 2-pound bag. This is from the Asian market. The first thing you notice about soybeans is that it's really rough. And the first step of making tempeh is to hull it. To hull it refers to removing the outer shell of it. And the first thing, as you watch other YouTube videos, what they do is they have like a grain mill machine, and basically they put it through and it cracks the soybeans. So since we don't have that, what we're going to do is we're going to soak the soybeans. So what we have here are soybeans which have been soaked for about a day and a half. The first thing you notice is when you grab a soybean out, in size it's going to be substantially larger. The key thing we want to do here is we want to hull it. So to hull it refers to removing its outer shell. So right here, that's the outer shell there, and the thing is we want to remove this for every one. Here what we've done is transfer the soybeans to a 4-quart stock pot. So what we want to do is sort of rough up the soybeans a little bit. So some of the skins begin coming off. So when the skins begin coming off, what you want to do is you want to put some running water, and you're going to notice the skins are beginning to float to the top. So as the skins begin floating to the top, just go ahead and just move them out. You're going to do the best you can here, because you're going to be able to dehull so many of them. So rough it up a little bit, and then you can see the skins move to the top. So again, our goal here is to hull as many of these skins as possible. So here what we have is we have the stock pot on high, and what we want to do is boil the soybeans for about 20-25 minutes until it's al dente. As it cooks, you're going to see some scum rise to the surface. What we're doing is we're basically cooking it before we start the culturing with the starter. So after the soybeans have been done, what you want to do is you want to get a colander, and you want to strain them out. The key thing in the next step here is we want to let this cool, but we want to dry this out almost completely. So we're just gonna let this sit a little bit, and then afterwards We're gonna put it around some towels and absorb some of the liquid. Now we have the soybeans here. They're completely dry. We're almost done. What we have here is 2 tablespoons of vinegar. We're going to add into it, and we're going to add 1 teaspoon of the starter. So this is the starter. This is what I got from I think Gem Cultures online. Well, the funny thing is they don't have like an online store, so it took actually sent them a check, sort of old school. So what I want to do now is add the starter, so that's going to help it grow, and I want to mix it really well. So when you mix it well, make sure you have like some type of a wooden spoon, and I'm looking for my wooden spoon right now. But here, key thing is to have it really even. So we're at our final stage of tempeh. What I did is took the soybeans and put it into Ziploc bags, and every half inch is perforated with a safety pin, so there's little holes in here. So 2.5 cups made these 2 bags. So what you see here is a homemade incubator. So basically this is a cooler retrofitted with a heater, and there's a water to help with thermal mass. The key thing here is we want to keep this running at around 85 degrees. So let me first put this in. Okay. So thing here is make sure it's flat. And this is going to incubate for about 36 to 40 hours. So I want to prop the lid a little bit open, like so. And the key thing here is this temperature here. I need to verify that you see where it says 82 degrees, that this is incubating for about 85 degrees. So here is the tempeh after it's been incubating for 36 hours. I just took it out of the plastic bag. If you notice, it's white. And there's gray and black areas, but they're, according to the tempeh manuals, they're a natural result of sporulation. Basically, when mold forms its seeds, and it shouldn't be harmful. The key thing here is when you cut it, you can determine whether it's good or bad. When cutting it, it should feel solid. A couple things when looking at it is, take a look at this. The mold should be filled in between the soybeans. That's an important thing there. The next thing is it should feel firm, and when you cut it, it really shouldn't crumble. It should be layered in sort of like a white icing, speckled with gray, and that's okay. And then when you smell it, it should smell like a slight hint of ammonia. To see how this turns out, what we're going to do is going to cook some of this, pan fry it, and season it with some taco seasoning, which is like a sort of cumin onion powder mix, and fry this up. We have a wok with olive oil, and we're gonna pan fry some tempeh. So this is taco seasoning, and taco seasoning is basically it's like a strong cumin onion powder mix. I'm gonna slide this in. So here we have tempeh that's been pan fried, and a thing to notice here is fresh tempeh cooks a lot quicker than the tempeh you buy in the market, so be careful with the heat. I burned a couple pieces. As you notice, it's going to have the taste of soybeans in there, but it's going to be a nutty texture, and it's nice. Sort of resembles sort of like a mushroomy meat. And let's take a bite. And that's really good. So basically, it should taste rather fresh. If anything is off, like it tastes rancid, throw it away. If it doesn't taste good, I mean, use your sense of taste and trust your instinct on that. So if you have 36 hours and you want to build an incubator and you want to whole soybeans, feel free to try to make this. But otherwise, it's sometimes nice to see alternatives to meat out there. Right now, I don't see the tempeh supply chain in the markets as that strong, but perhaps this would change in the future as more interest grows. So, bon appetit. Thank you for watching this long recipe.